it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me. This is the second video in the card making in 10 minutes series. I had some really good feedback from the last video that I did doing this, saying that you guys would love to see more of these. So I'm going to start the timer this time and start off with, this is the Watercolor Wishes paper pad, the 6x6 paper pad from Fawn. I am not even sure if this one is available anymore, but obviously for the amount that I'm going to use, you can pretty much use any paper pad, or of course color your own paper is going to work just as well here. Then I also have the Hexagon frames from Penny Black. Now this is something I purchased recently because I don't think I have any hexagon shaped layering dies, and so kind of like the infinity sets, I have a few that are all of those, you know how you get maybe 10 or 12 different dies that are all really close together in a shaped set. Those are so handy. I use those a lot on my channel. It's probably one of my most used items that I have in my craft area, is my layering sets of shaped dies. But if you don't have these frames in particular, then of course you can use any shaped die to create this or recreate this or do something similar. If you just kind of pop two together with a little bit of low-tech tape, then you're going to create a nice skinny frame. So that could be squares or triangles or circles. Anything is going to work. Ovals is going to work really nicely for this as well. So anything that you have in your stash is going to work well. Now, a couple of things I've changed from the last video. I have definitely changed the timer on my screen, so I no longer have to change, the backlight won't be going out every 30 seconds like it did before. I promise I changed it. And all I'm doing is running this through. I have a green, an orange, and a blue that I'm running this through, and I want the frames from these. These cards are obviously really simple. They are meant to be simple if I'm going to do them in under 10 minutes. I mean, I'm including all of the die cutting, absolutely everything. I'm not going to stop the timer for anything at all during these card making things. So even if I have to dry something or if I have to do die cutting, I'm not going to stop the timer. However, I think some feedback that I saw in the last video was that these a couple of people found these stressful and that they were hurried, and this would just stress them out having to do this within 10 minutes. But honestly, I have been card making for a while, and as you can see from my channel, I have a fair few videos. I love to try new things. I love putting myself just slightly outside of my comfort zone and being able to create things a little bit different. So for me, this is just a new little challenge, and on a good day, this might take me 8 minutes or 9 minutes or 10 minutes, but on a bad day, it might take me 30 or 40 minutes if things don't go the right way. So they don't always go perfectly. So these are just meant to be some really nice kind of simple ideas. This doesn't at all mean that you have to do it within 10 minutes. I often will just have a really short amount of time and I sit down at my little craft space and I love to create videos just like this. So this stamp set here that I'm using is the All the Birthdays stamp set from Concord and 9th. This one has been featuring a lot recently. I purchased it recently and I am loving using it. It is very versatile, and birthday cards are something that I make most often in my stash, if not the most often. So this was a great set for me and I'm making the most of it. You'll be seeing it a lot, and I know that you've already seen it a lot, but that's okay. I'm sure you have a fantastic happy birthday set in your stash ready to go. I stamped this out using some VersaFine Onyx black ink, and I am going to glue this down onto my card base. Now I could have just stamped this straight onto my card base, however I thought it was kind of just as easy for me to line everything up if I did it on the inside portion of that frame, because I die cut out the 3 in the Watercolor Wishes paper pad, and then I also cut out 1 in plain white paper. Now, sorry, I'm about to reach across the screen because usually I would edit these things out so that you don't get a big picture of my arm, but for some reason I have managed to get my little fingerprints over something. You know, when you kind of look at your fingers and you're like, where is the ink coming from? And you can see me kind of look at my fingers, and this is just a little sand eraser, and this just gets out nice light little bits of ink from the front of my card from paper and cardstock. Now I am going to be using some Ranger Multi-Medium in the matte finish. That's the glue that is inside these glue bottles, and that's really important because when I'm doing today's card there is going to be a little bit of seepage and just a little bit where I've put a little bit extra glue where it comes out the sides and things. And it's really important that you use a glue that is completely matte and it's going to dry without any shine or anything, unless you wanted to add some double-sided adhesive to the back of these before you die cut them. I just felt like that was going to be a bit of a waste because I was only using such a small portion of it for today's card, so I didn't want to add the double-sided adhesive. I felt like liquid glue was a great option, but yeah, with this glue it means that even if I get little bits out the side and things, I'm not going to get any shine or sheen or gloss. When the glue dries, it's going to dry completely matte and you won't be able to see at all if there was anything that squished out the sides. Now I'm just turning all of these little hexagons sort of one way or the other, clockwise or anti-clockwise, just to mix them up a little bit, and this creates a nice little frame around my happy birthday. Now, as I said, these cards are very, very simple, and at this point it was looking a little too clean for my liking, but I must admit by the end of this card, given that I've got just under 4 minutes left, I really, really like this. And I actually went ahead and made these in a whole different kind of bunch of colors, and I used slightly brighter colors. I like these nice muted colors. These are very universal happy birthday cards. I feel like this could be given to people who are any age, so that's always good when I have those kind of cards in my stash that I'm just able to kind of grab and go, and I don't have to think too much about whether it's sort of an age appropriate card. So I think this is kind of a nice, easy, fun card that is going to cover all ages. Now I thought about putting the white one on here, but honestly it didn't look right. It was either too much or it kind of cancelled out some of the colour. I just didn't like it. So you could either pop it on, or you could also ink it up to make it a different colour, or just leave it off like I did. I was happy with the 3 frames there. Now on this same stamp set here, there are some little kind of, I guess, birthday little things, just the very, very tiniest stamps. And sometimes these are easiest to kind of go past when you have some nice big bold lettering and things here. There is actually a tiny little hexagon, there is some little kind of confetti, and then there's a little almost star looking shape there. So I thought I would add some of the little confetti, and I ended up adding the little kind of starbursts as well. Just a little bit around the outside. Again, I'm doing it in the VersaFine Onyx black ink. It's a really nice crisp stamping ink. And then I'm going to pop this other little one here, and I really, really like how this is going to go. Again, I was kind of dressing up the card just a little bit, and at this point, even after I'd done this, I felt like it was just missing something. And it's kind of still amazing to me that just one little feature on a card can kind of make it feel complete. So for me in this card, I was thinking about whether to put that little hexagon stamp there, but I felt like I had enough of the extra little stamps. I didn't need any more of that, and at this point I was wondering whether I should put on some Nuvo drops, or I had some little enamel dots or gems that are going to work perfectly. So I had those bright colourful ones, but they weren't quite the right match, and then I had these ones here which are kind of almost transparent kind of colour. I had some of these sitting in my stash, and these are going to work perfectly. These are kind of almost the iridescent ones. But honestly, the Nuvo drops, the jewel drops in the Nuvo collection is pretty much, they dry pretty much looking the same as these. So they dry transparent, but with kind of a little tint of colour. So they would work really nicely as well if that's what you had. And then for me, this card is all done. There is plenty on there. There's enough going on. It's very simple and clean, and yet it took me around just under 9 minutes to complete from whoa to go. So I hope that you have enjoyed this one as well. Let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. Is this a yay or a nay for less than 10 minutes of card making? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate it. Please consider subscribing to my channel, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks, bye!